The latest rage. Good afternoon. It feels like the morning time, people. What is going on out there? Do you guys hear Hans barking? The UPS guy is walking up. It's unbelievable scenes. How are we doing? Welcome on in, people. It is our last week together. I will say that. It is very, very sad. I am very, very sad about that, people. And today, tomorrow, and Wednesday is probably the last time we're going to be on the YouTube, right? And then probably Friday and Thursday, we're just going to be chilling in the Google Meet. So, yeah, welcome on in. What's going on? How we doing, Nina? How we doing? Damn, no more YouTube. People, did you guys see that Google and YouTube was down, like all the way up until like 6 a.m., right? Like worldwide. That would have been a modern day snow day if that happened, right? No YouTube or Google. Like, what are we gonna do? That's like the two things that we use, right? If we go back, I'll come visit. I hope you do, Mayor. And I think we'll be back, people. I am now optimistic. I think you guys are gonna be roaming the halls, and Mr. Moore is gonna be in the room 605. Before the end of the year. We'll see, people. We'll see. Is the music good? I'm turning the music down a little bit. Is it good still? Is it good? But we'll see. I think you guys will walk in the high school just one more time. We'll see. But yeah. All right. So what do we have to do this week? Wait, This is macro. What do we... I was going to say EDPs. You guys want to do some EDPs? No. We don't want to do EDPs. We do not want to do EDPs here. But anyway, today we're going to learn about externalities. That's going to kind of bleed into tomorrow just a little bit. But we're pretty much going to be finished with externalities today. And then I think tomorrow I'll do, some externality FRQs on the stream or whatnot. And then, yeah, you guys are going to get problem set 6.1. Now, problem set 6.1... is not going to be due until Wednesday. It's like a 2-day problem set. It is 5 externality FRQs. So, once we get done with what we got to do, try to do 1 or 2, and then save the rest for tomorrow. I'll give you guys a lot of time tomorrow in class to work on those externality FRQs. And then, like I said, Wednesday is probably the last day we're going to be on YouTube. Wednesday, we're going to learn about income redistribution. And income inequality, the Lorenz curve, the Gini coefficient, and then and then Thursday I'll probably just make it a day and give you guys time in class because I know you're busy out of class generally. So that'll be just time given to complete the Unit 5 and 6 tests. Right, I'm going to combine both of them because they're both so small. And then Friday is the AP Micro final exam. Stay tuned for details. Right. Told you not to be worried about that one, alright? Anyway, people, did you guys see that we are about to play some GeoGuessr? I don't know how many days this week we're going to play it, but we're just going to do an aggregate score. Right? So whoever has the highest points between you and second hour, whenever it's up, is going to get extra credit points summative, which some of you guys really need. So does that mean do or do not study for it? That means do not study for it. I repeat, do not study for the final exam. But you have to make sure you're in class on Friday. Yeah, that's it. What does don't worry about the exam mean? It means don't stress. It means don't even think about it. When class is over today, you just go about and do whatever you need to do, other than in this class, right? That's what it means. Do not stress. Don't worry about it. Show up on Friday, and we'll have a fun little time. That's what it means. All right. Any other questions? Since you like us the most, can you cheat with us? Oh, don't you worry. All right, people. I'm ready to do some GeoGuessr now. As you can see, second hour scored insanely high. Now, it was kind of all me, I'm not going to lie. It was all me. We ended up being in France. I knew it was France right away because I was actually, we were like 20 kilometers from the very city that I went to in France. It was crazy. It was Amboise. So they pretty much maxed out the points. But don't worry, it's not just a one-day thing. You guys need to get a lot of points today. You need to be in the 4,000s, I would say. The Unifor test is... Well, I don't know if it's looking good because I haven't put the answers in, so it just says, like, if you completed all the questions. I don't know any scores yet, but there's one person that needs to take the test, and you know who you are. There's one person that needs to take their Unifor test, and then once that person takes their Unifor test, I will put it into to Jupiter. But I don't remember when I assigned the Unifor test. Did I assign it a long time ago? Like, is time up? Because I don't remember. But whoever it is, complete it tonight. Try to complete it tonight, and let me know if you can, all right? But I want to get that grade in because you guys are about to take the next test, right? So, yeah. So you cheated? No. People, I'm going to cheat for you too. Don't you worry, Cam. I'm going to cheat for you too, right? All right, here we go. All right, we need to be GeoGuessr. I need to be sitting on the left side so you guys can see the map. No, they accidentally hit next round, so this was not them, all right? Anyway, are you guys ready? It's got to be Tom. Oh, no. Oh, no, wait, what did Tyler say? What did Tyler say? Did he get in trouble? Oh, no. Wait, how is Tyler gonna help out in the GeoGuessr? It's going to be Rhode Island, he says. What the heck? Wait, I want to view the deleted message. It is totally Todd. You are getting power hungry. That was not ban worthy. That is not timeout worthy. All right, you guys ready? We have 5 minutes. This time it's timed. I made it so it's timed. So we have to submit a response in 5 minutes. All right. All right. Here we go. Ooh, you guys got a good one. Hey, I think it's Rhode Island. Oh no, I hope we can get off this trail though, because that would be really hard. What are you guys thinking? First thoughts? I'm thinking East Coast US, but I'm also getting a lot of European vibes, I'm not gonna lie. These boats look very, very European-like. And the houses. Alright, let's see. Hold on, people, if this one's like, we can only be on a trail, we might have to quit out. We'll see. We'll see how like legit this trail is. It's got to at least let us go. Oh! German? That is the longest word I've ever seen in my life. There's a flag on the boat? Where? Oh. I thought I just saw it too. Is that Argentina? I can barely tell. Is that Argentina? The flag? I don't know, we gotta start scooting around here a little bit. Christian, translate that. Is there any good graffiti? No. I don't know if that's German. Is that German? Is this German? Is this German? Go back to the sign. We gotta go. We got 3 minutes. Yeah, I think the graffiti said acid. Whoa. Yo, people, we're definitely in Europe. Look at, we're in Europe. We're in Europe. They got the license plates in the front. The yellow. We're definitely in Europe. Wohnbuten. I think we're like in Germany, right? Like up here, like near water. Dutch? Oh, it could be Dutch too. It could be Dutch. It could be Dutch. It could be Dutch. In Holland. Whoa. Come on. People, Netherlands. Netherlands, right? It's definitely Holland. Get us back on here. 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Someone keep track. Start spamming the chat if I don't get a thing in. That was not a German flag. Acid is legal in Amsterdam, so it makes sense. No way. It's got to be near North Netherlands, near the water. Yeah, they got long words. North Netherlands. Why north? I think just the water. Or like down here. Oh, people down here too. Oh, yeah. Wind energy, right? Netherlands. Oh man, I wish I had more time. We need to get like a huge sign that says the city. I mean, it's big. If it's Netherlands, you guys are gonna get in the 4,000s, which is huge. We just got to figure out like kind of where. Minute. I'm gonna search for clues for like another 20 minutes, and then we're going to start looking at that map. I wish you could do like command find. 55 seconds. What do you guys think? Are you guys thinking like down here or like north side? I'm almost thinking like down here. I know. Yeah, a little tiny bit south of Amsterdam. Really? 30 seconds. I won't mess it up this time. I'm trying to see like some of those words that we've seen. $20 seconds. No, listen to me. A little above Hague. Hague. Okay, I'm going with Micah. I'm going with Micah. Alright, here we go. This is it. Leuverden. Read! Read! I put it pretty much right where she... Yes! Oh, people! You are golden! You are golden! Look how good you guys did. Look how good you guys did. I don't think we ever would have found that. There's nothing that would have suggested here. Man, Netherlands is really pretty. Look at all the water just everywhere. Man, they could do like public transportations along like the rivers. Look at this thing. This river goes all the way down. Unbelievable. But yeah, that's awesome. 4,941 points. That's a lot. That is maxed. That is certainly maxed. Good job, people. Micah was clutch there. Well, it's not like we're not gonna do like per day, right? It's gonna be like over time. So like you guys, that was huge, right? To kind of match them. So, on how many points was it again? 4,941. 4,941. Man, that was huge. Because you lose if you're like in the wrong country or continent, right? Like you guys you're right there, so like it doesn't. 40 points is irrelevant right now. Get wooden clogs to celebrate, huh? What do we get? Finally, did we win? Yes. Last time I was close. Do closer to the coast. Yeah. Can you bring it up, people? It's going to be decided by like much. It's going to be decided by like I would at least say like 1,000 points. One of you guys is going to get a really tough one where like we don't even know which continent it is in, right? So that was huge that you guys survived that one right there. That was big. That was big. All right, let's get to what we got to get to today. All right, let's get to it. Let's start talking about externalities, which is pretty fun. I got some videos that I'm going to show you guys. Second hour was not cheating, but I did all the work for them. People, if the situation comes where like it's our last time playing GeoGuessr, I got your back. I'm not gonna help them. I'm not gonna help them. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna purposely like put it in the water on accident. People, you should have seen it though. Like instantly, I was like France, and like it looked literally was like in the middle of nowhere. I knew. It's high IQ plays. That's what it is. This is rigged, Mr. Moore. That's an IF. What's an IF? Oh, that's an if. All right. Anyway, moving on, people. Oh, I didn't even switch the screen. I didn't switch the screen. Come on, Mr. Moore. All right. All right. Unit 6, market failures and the role of government, right? Remember on Friday we kind of just like chilled out and looked at some Unit 5 MCs, which I hope you guys did your Unit 5 AP class for MCs, but last time we talked about Unit 6, we started Unit 6 on Thursday, right? And we talked about public goods. Unit 6 is about market failures, right? When the free market fails to provide the socially optimal quantity, right? In terms of public goods, right, oftentimes without the government, the free market's not going to produce public goods, right? Pure public goods that are non-excludable and non-rivalrous. Try to say that 20 times fast. Rivalrous. But then what we're going to talk about today is externalities, a third-person side effect. Can you sabotage them? What are the odds the Earth is? What are the odds the Earth is huge? Oh yeah, I know. It was pretty crazy, actually. It was pretty crazy. All right. So the second market failure is externalities. Oops, I forgot to animate that one. But it says, what are externalities? An externality is a third-person side effect, right? So we know that when someone makes a transaction, right, it's generally between a consumer and a producer, right? And we can measure the consumer surplus and producer surplus and all that, right? You know, supply equals demand. The willingness and ability to buy it equals, you know, the willingness and ability to want to produce it, right? But sometimes some goods and some services, there's an added cost or an added benefit that the original decision maker, the buyer and the seller, you know, do not account for. In other words, that's the idea of an externality. Do you know if we can keep our textbook Oh yeah, they just sent an email out this morning, and it kind of depends. We're waiting on word. Your textbook is not due until like the end of January, and basically it's like if we're in person, we're going to do this. If it's out of person, they have dates and stuff planned, but it's not due until the end of January. All right. Anyway, but that's the idea of an externality. Is there some sort of added benefit or added cost that the original decision makers, right, the producer and the seller, or sorry, the producer and the buyer, right, do not account for when they make that transaction, right? So cigarettes is probably the best example of in this case a negative externality, right? So again, if I'm buying cigarettes, which Mr. Moore does not smoke cigarettes, right? But if Mr. Moore buys cigarettes, right, I walk into the gas station, I'm like, yeah, like I am willing to buy those for $4, right, because the benefits exceed the cost, right? I'm thinking about the cost of smoking. I know it's stinky, you know, and I know like it's like addictive, and like I know it's probably like bad long-term health and like all these other things, right? I'm like weighing those costs, right, to myself, and I buy it at a certain price because I think, you know, the benefit, like what my willingness to pay, right, is greater than like the cost, right, the price, right? So I'm gonna buy the cigarettes, right? I have some sort of consumer surplus, so I'm gonna buy those cigarettes, right? And the producer obviously is gonna sell those cigarettes, right? Because it costs, I don't know, maybe like $4 to produce them, and they can sell it for like $6, right? They're making profit. So again, that's the idea, right? Most goods and services, the producer and the consumer, they weigh the cost versus benefits, they make a transaction, and that is the end of it. But a lot of goods are externalities, right? There's an added cost or an added benefit. And if we were actually take that into account when we made that original transaction, the price would be different, and more people or less people would perhaps buy it. Is the idea if we were actually adding the social cost and the social benefit, you know, from buying that good or service. So that's the idea. The free market assumes that the cost of smoking is fully paid by the people who smoke, right? But obviously, you know, there's added costs, right? The government has to clean up. Littering, right? You know, there's an added cost when someone smokes next to you and you smell, right? Things like that, right? That is a cost. Whether it's implicit or explicit, there's an added cost when someone, you know, smokes cigarettes. So why are externalities market failures? Is because the free market that does not, you know, include, right, those external costs or benefits. Those costs or benefits are not accounted for when that transaction actually takes place. So without government, right, identifying that this is an externality and addressing the externality, we're either going to have too many goods that we don't want or not enough goods and we actually want more, right? If there's an added benefit, we want more of those goods produced, and there's an added cost, we obviously want less of those goods produced. Yes, I also want mods so Taha can't bully me anymore. Mr. Moore vapes instead. Carcinogenic. No. Vaping. All right, so we're going to do a little example of an externality. All right, so what I want you guys to do is, you guys remember, like, I think in Grand Blanc, when you guys were little kids, little whippersnappers, it was called rocket math. Rocket math? Who's getting timed out? Rocket math, but rocket math basically was like when you got like a timed like math test, it was like either like multiplying or like adding or whatever, and you had to hurry up and do it, and like you're really stressed, and the teacher's like, come on, you got to better your score. You have like a minute to do it, right? I want you guys to do this real quick, all right? I'm gonna give you guys 20 seconds. I just opened up my calculator. I need my stopwatch. I'm gonna give you guys 20 seconds, all right? 20 seconds, all right? So you have to answer as many questions as possible. You don't have to put it in the chat or anything, but just do it in your head, right, and see how many questions you get right, all right? What if he has a question on the content, though? Yeah, people, okay, no more abusing the mod stuff, all right? No more abusing the mod stuff. All right, ready? All right, see how many math problems you can answer correctly in 20 seconds. Okay, ready, set, go. I want to see who the best is. Time. All right, put how many you got right in the chat. You probably, some of you guys probably did all of them, right? Just adding, right? I feel like you would have got to like right here. If you went, right, you would have got right here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there's 30 in total, right? So like count, you know, most of you guys probably did this column, right? And then how far did you get in here? So 15 plus whatever. How many did you guys get right? I got to 4 plus 8. Okay, so this one or this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you did 6, no, 21, 25, 22, 27. So are you guys saying Chase is the smartest person here? Interesting. All right, very, very good. All right, now let's see if you guys can better that score. I'm going to do another round 2, and let's see if you guys can better that score. Now, I will say this. You know what? Well, it's fine. All right, you guys ready? All right, try to better your score, okay? Here, ready? 3, you have to better your score. 3, 2, 1, go. And time. Did you better your score? Did you better your score? Huh? Did you guys get more? Why not? Was there distractions perhaps? Did your ears, like, you know, are your ears hurting? Was that loud? I hope it wasn't too loud. I hope that wasn't too loud. We can't even see so many of them at the end. What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh! I'm sorry. I am blocking them. I should have moved my screen. Yeah. You guys can see my really silly example is basically, right, there was a third person side effect, right? I created a negative externality, right? I'm wearing AirPods and it hurt. I was kind of worried about that. Rip ears. But I was trying to distract you, right? So what happened is you probably got less than you originally would have got, right? Again, a negative externality, like noise pollution, right? Noise pollution, like you know, being loud. Like you're working on your homework and someone's super loud next door and it does not allow you to get all your homework done. That is the idea. Mr. Moore, that was not a good example. Whatever, right? So that's the idea of an externality. So what are some, we're going to do negative first and then we'll do positive afterwards, right? End on a positive note. Externalities, generally, the best example is pollution. right? Best example is pollution, right? If there was no penalties for pollution, and businesses could pollute, and it would save them cost, they would definitely pollute, right? Because again, businesses are only going to look at the cost, and people are only look at their willingness and ability to buy minus the price, right? When they make decisions. But if we weigh in pollution as a social cost, that cost is so much higher than what the business actually is accounting for. Like a barking dog, like Hans earlier, is a negative externality, right? Secondhand smoke, oh gosh, is definitely a negative externality, right? Added cost that is not accounted for. Babies are a negative externality. Yes, they are. I'm just kidding. A third-person side effect, right? An additional cost that's not accounted for by the original decision maker. So a negative externality sometimes is referred to as a spillover cost, because that cost is going to spill over to somebody else, and someone else is going to have to pay that cost, essentially. So, situation that results in a cost for a different person other than the original decision maker. The costs spill over to other people in society. So, say there's a company out there. Zoram is a chemical company that pollutes the air when it produces the good. Again, Zoram is going to produce where MR equals MC, right? They're only looking at the cost of production, and that is it. They're not looking at the cost of polluting, or how much it's going to cost to clean up the lake and to balance out the pH and get all the chemicals out, or the cost of reducing air quality, things like that. They're simply looking at the cost of production, right? So they make X amount of units. They have their marginal cost curve, and they're going to produce for MR equals MC. But if they were actually to weigh in the external costs, or again the cost of cleaning up all the pollution and all that, right, their cost curve would be a lot greater than their actual cost curve. So therefore, they would produce a lot less than they're actually producing now. The spillover cost is generally when we have too much produced and we need less. So the government's going to recognize this, and they're going to seek to limit production to combat the pollution and get less quantity brought to market. So here's a really good example, again, of the original decision maker, the consumer. I think this guy's name is Bub Rub. Bub Rub, he wants to buy whistle tips, right? Because he likes whistle tips. It's something that goes onto his muffler, and it sounds really, really cool, and it's loud, right? When I was in high school, people did that all the time. I think it's called a straight pipe. I don't really. I'm car illiterate, but basically they would cut off their exhaust, right? And their car would be insanely loud, and they would think it'd be cool, right? Same thing with Bub Rub. Bub Rub wants his car sounding loud, and he thinks it's sweet. It's just a thing molded into the exhaust. And then I want you guys to pay really, really close attention to the producer and what the producer says, right? The producer's this is why I make this product, right? I know it's annoying, but this is why I make this product, right? And then Bub Rub is, of course, yeah, this product rocks, right? I'm gonna buy it. I'm willing to buy it. It costs less than, the price is less than, I'm willing to pay for it, right? It's affordable, right? And I want that. I value it more than the price. So let's take it over to the TV. All right, Bub Rub. All right, so you're gonna have to balance out the volume again on your end, okay? Whistle tips with Bub Rub. Oops.
Driving parents and entire neighborhoods crazy. It's called a whistle tip, and it's welded inside a car's muffler to make the car screechingly loud for nearly a mile. Well, tomorrow night, Oakland residents will be complaining officially to City Hall officials. Crown 4's Mark Jones has the story live in Oakland this evening. Mark.
Well, Pam, city residents have been told this noise is perfectly legal, so tomorrow they hope to start the process to change the law. Nearly every muffler shop in Oakland is installing whistler tips. It's a piece of metal welded inside the exhaust pipes that makes the car audible for almost a mile. Tell me about the whistles.
The whistles got woo!
Anybody that has it in their neighborhood is going to be totally driven crazy.
It sounds like what?
When you want to woo woo, it's that woo woo. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the flows. They didn't trip out the flow masters.
That decoration, man. It's just for decoration. That's it. And that's all, man. We do it for decoration.
You have it on your car?
Yeah, I got it on my car.
It was being installed on their car. Roxanne Brunn says the high-pitched tone, like the squeal of a BART train that doesn't stop, is keeping her awake at night. Police have told her it is legal.
They think it's a sad
bad. It's going to go away. It's not going away.
Sorry, I was muted. I said, is this what some people refer to as a Karen?
And it's driving you nuts.
It's driving me nuts. I work at home. I can't concentrate when it goes on for hours.
Some neighbors are saying way too loud.
That's only in the morning. You supposed to be up cooking breakfast or somebody, and so that's like an alarm clock. Woo woo!
Bub Rub and Little Sis were proud to show it off.
The stop sign. Watch the stop sign.
Will complain about the noise.
Stop sign.
Tuesday night at the city council meeting. Until the law changes, Marcelo Cabrera says he will keep installing them. Would you want it in your neighborhood?
No, I won't. But that's what they want. And, my business is sell the pipes, so I have to sell whatever they want. And whatever people want, I'll sell it.
An AC Transit bus driver told us the noise is so loud you can't even hear the siren from an approaching ambulance. So far, they've caused no known accidents. In Oakland, Mark Jones, KRON 4 News.
So did you guys hear that, right? Did you guys hear what, what's his name, Marcelo? What's his name? Marcelo, right? That's what he said. They said, do you want this in your neighborhood, right? Like, it sounds loud, right? It's dangerous, right? Do you want this in your neighborhood? And he goes, no, I do not, right? But, and will you keep producing this? Or will you stop producing this? No, I won't, right? That's what I want. My business is to sell pipes, so I have to sell whatever they want, whatever there's demand for, and I can make money on. I'm going to sell it, right? Oops, we got to go back to, like, the, there's a lot of moving parts today, people. This is hard. Yeah, so, like, yeah, he's just a producer, right? He's trying to profit maximize, and people are willing to sell it, and he can make a profit on it. He's going to bring it to market, right? And then, obviously, Bub Rub, like, he wants the product. He thinks it's cool, and he is willing to pay that price, right? And the buyer and the seller get together, and they, make the transaction. But obviously, right, there's added cost, right? There, again, you can't hear, sirens. It's loud, right? It's waking people up, right? Blah, blah, blah. Is it really that dangerous? No, but still, right? There's an added cost, and the producer nor the buyer really pay that cost. So what's going to happen is government's going to get involved, right? Either like ban it or tax it, or if you have it, like you get a fine, right? That's the idea. He said, no cop, no stop. Yeah. All right. Another example is an endless barking dog, right? An endless barking dog.
And in Rapid City, South Dakota, a West Highland Terrier has been barking continuously for 6 straight years today. The small dog, named Taffy, was purchased by area electrician David Richards as a present for his daughter's 8th birthday.
Brittany just turned 14, so that would be 6 years. Yeah. She barked the whole first week, and then that turned into a few months, and she's still barking. She's a super family pet.
Neighbors confirm the dog's excitable nature.
She talks all the time. She's got a lot. She barks, barks, barks.
David Richards said the family has never considered giving the dog away.
I mean, we couldn't. Brittany would put a big stink. I mean, in the end, Taffy is, she is...
I'd like to kill it.
This marks the longest time a dog has barked continuously in Rapid City history, surpassing the previous record of 8 minutes. And in...
Oh my gosh. Anyway, all right. Yes, someone asked, right, the person experiencing the third-person side effect. She responded with, "I'd like to kill it." and then Hans goes ahead and starts barking. Yeah, the onion's fake. This is the onion. This is the onion. This is fake. The other one was real, though. The other one's real. That one's legit. All right, so anyways, let's get to graphing out externalities, right? So here's the market for cigarettes, right? And, supplies equal the marginal cost, right? This is any sort of industry, right? Where it hits, where price hits our supply curve, that's how much we're going to produce, right? And if you add up all that's going to be produced by each individual firm, times it by the quantity of firms, is going to equal the industry supply. So, supply is only looking at, again, the cost of production. And then demand is your willingness and ability to buy. And I put MSB here, right? So that means a marginal social benefit, right? Marginal social benefit. So in this case, cigarettes, there's no added benefit. So what I usually like to write, actually, let me just write it real quick here, is I write this. I write this on my graph, right? Because the private benefit, the willingness to pay privately, is no different than the social benefit. When people smoke cigarettes, other people, society doesn't benefit from that, right? Like smoking cigarettes does not offer any sort of benefit outside of the the private benefit, the individual user. So MSB is equal to MPB. Marginal social benefit, marginal willingness to pay, is equal to the marginal benefit of each individual person. Remember, when we looked at public goods, right, we did MSB, right? MSB is everyone's willingness to pay, added together, all right? So, does cigarettes have an added cost? Absolutely, cigarettes has an added cost, right? Again, littered item. People usually have long-term health effects, right? And that's going to have to be, paid for a lot by, taxpayers, right? Secondhand smoking. Just smoking next to somebody to smell, right? Maybe cleaning up your clothes, right? Piece of pop smoke. What is that? It is fake. It is from the Onion. Anyway, so in this case, right, cigarettes have an added cost. The cost is greater than the private cost. If we add up the social costs, right, of everything, right, that not only the cost of production, but the cost of cleaning up the littered item, the cost to taxpayers for people that smoke and get lung cancer or whatever, right? The cost of cleaning up, restaurants where someone smoked, right? I don't know, whatever it is, right? That's added costs that really is not accounted for by the producers, right? So our marginal social cost is a lot greater than the marginal private cost, is the idea. So this is the example of a negative externality. This is how you would draw a negative externality, is there's an added cost that is greater than the private cost that the producers, take into account when they choose to produce. So at the quantity of free market, right, if you look at, right, marginal social benefit, the willingness to pay is here, this amount, but at the quantity of free market, the social cost is this amount, right? The social cost is much greater than the social benefit. So we do not want that many cigarettes, right? We want social benefit, to be equal to the social cost. That would be the socially optimal point, right? You guys remember the socially optimal point, the allocatively efficient level, right? We want that here. We want where MSB equals MSC, and at the quantity of free market, MSC is greater than MSB. So this is the idea of an externality. So here's the quantity that the free market is going to bring to market, and here's the quantity that's socially optimal, the allocatively efficient level. We want this much quantity. Cigarettes are overproduced. We want less cigarettes because cigarettes have a huge added cost, and if we take that added cost into account, our quantity would be a lot less. So remember this, right? Dead weight loss is always a triangle, and it's always pointing towards the socially optimal point. And there it is, right? Dead weight loss is going to be right here, right? Now in this case, right, it's not really like loss of economic transaction, but it's just the amount that's overproduced. We're producing much more than what we actually want. So how do you find it, right? Just take the quantity free market, right, between MSC and MSB, right, and then it's pointing towards the socially optimal level. So that's pretty much it. All you have to be able to do is, if you're asked to draw a negative externality, make sure MSC is greater than MPC, the marginal private cost, label everything correctly, and then generally you have to identify dead weight loss. And dead weight loss is going to be the difference between MSC and MSB, and take that, pointing back towards the quantity socially optimal where MSC equals MSB. So it'd be right there, all right? Overallocated, we get too much produced. Overproduce would be a negative externality. So how do we fix it, right? How would we take the marginal private cost and make that become the marginal social cost, right? A per unit tax. Remember, a lump sum tax does not change marginal costs. A one-time payment to the government is not going to make a producer actually produce less. A lump sum cost, a lump sum tax, would be like you're paying $1,000 whether you make 0 quantity or 1,000 quantities, right? Or 1,000 units. So, a lump sum tax would definitely not be the solution here. It would not change marginal cost. But if you make it a per unit tax, every time you produce a cigarette, you got to pay $1. Every time you produce a cigarette, you got to pay $1, right? That's going to change marginal cost and make it over here, right? Just for, unit 2, when we learned about taxes, right? That's the idea. It decreased supply. It increased the price. It reduced the quantity. And when we were implementing taxes before, right, we were just saying like it's a normal good, and that was causing a deadweight loss when we implemented the tax, right? Before we implemented the tax, we'd be like, here's a deadweight loss, right? Like, we want this many bananas, but now we're only going to get this many bananas. So we lost consumer surplus, right? Gave some producer surplus, right? And some went to the government, is the idea. But now, this is an externality. So when we implement the tax, it's actually going to remove the deadweight loss. We're not going to have deadweight loss if we implement a per unit tax, because this is overproduced and we want less. So if we implement a per unit tax, it's going to remove deadweight loss. And then now MSC is going to be equal to MPC. The social cost of producing it, or the social cost of having cigarettes, smoking cigarettes, is equal to the marginal profit cost of producing them. RIP Pop FR. I don't even know what you guys are saying. Okay. So again, this is different, right? If we're just taxing a good that's not an externality, right, your deadweight loss would be here. But if this is an externality, right, your deadweight loss is here, right? And then we implement the tax and we'll remove the deadweight loss, is the idea. So yeah, we want to tax things that are only, externalities, is the idea. A per unit tax on the pollution produced by a firm will affect the firm's output and pollution levels in which of the following ways, right? So if you're implementing a per unit tax, that will decrease output. And if they're producing less output, right, there's going to be less pollution. So the answer would be decrease. Decrease. All right, let's look at some positive externalities here. Some positive externalities, right? Flu shots, right, are a positive externality, right? Because you, the flu shot recipient, right, you're like, oh, I'm willing to get a flu shot because I don't want to get a flu, and I'm willing to pay $20 for the flu shot because I value the flu shot more than the $20. I'm going to go get the flu shot, right? And then the producer of the flu shot is like, all right, well, how much money can I make by, making this flu shot? If I charge a price of $20 and it costs me $15 to make it, yeah, I'll produce it because I make $5 in profit. MR equals MC, right? They're going to produce that much quantity. But when someone gets a flu shot, there is an added benefit, right? Because if you get a flu shot, less people you come in contact with are likely to get the flu, right? Because they're not going to get the flu from you. So if we actually take that into account, the added benefit of you getting the flu shot, right? We want more quantity, right? The marginal social benefit is greater than the marginal social cost of actually getting the flu shot. When people go to college, right, and get a college degree, right, that helps out society, right? Because now they're working as a nurse, right? They're working as a banker. They're working as whatever, right? To help out society. I wonder how much the Rona vaccine would be worth on the open market if you could just buy it. It should be free because we the people, right? We subsidized it, right, via tax dollars. The making of the coronavirus vaccine was subsidized, so like we should not. If we have to pay for it, we're paying for it, 2 times over, which is horrible. How is this a positive externality, right? If someone adds on to their home, how is that a positive externality, right? How is that a positive externality if someone puts an addition onto their home, or in generally, has a nice yard, it doesn't have trash on their yard, just like visually appealing, right? They have like a good property, right? Why is that a positive externality? What do you think? If my neighbor does this, why is that good for me? Why is that good for me? What do you think? Why is like home renovations a positive externality? Very good. It increases the value of your home if you live in that neighborhood, right? If my neighbors have a good house, right, and there's no trash and anything like that, I'm gonna be able to sell my house for a higher price than they would, right? If whoever's trying to buy my home rolls up to my house and like the neighborhood's looking outrageous, right? Is the idea. So remember this, right? You always want to buy the cheapest house in the neighborhood, right? Because all the other houses are going to inflate. They're going to pull up the value of your home. Is the idea. So positive externalities, a spillover benefit. The benefit's going to spill over to other people that didn't actually, make the original decision. So again, vaccines, home renovation, education. There's There's tons of spillover benefits as well. So a mom decides to get the flu vaccine. She's only going to look at the internal benefits, like I don't want to get the flu. I don't want my kids to get the flu, whatever. But really, if she vaccinates her child, right, less kids at the school are likely to get the flu, right, which obviously is a benefit to society. So her marginal willingness to pay is less than the society's willingness to pay. If we actually take into account how many people are not going to get the flu, we should be willing to pay a lot more, or society is willing to pay a lot more than the individual person is for getting the flu shot. So the government recognizes this, and they subsidize flu shots. They make flu shots more affordable. They pay some of that price. Sometimes you see like Walgreens, like free flu shots and things like that to incentivize more and more people to take or to get the flu shot, right? So market for flu shots will look something like this. The marginal social cost in this case is equal to the marginal private cost. People, I just always write that. If it's not a negative externality, I just like to write that, right? Because it means there's no added cost. Or marginal social cost is equal to marginal private cost. However, demand, right? Demand is the willingness and ability to buy, right? Your benefit is the willingness and ability to buy. The private benefit is going to be less than the social benefit, right? Your willingness to buy is a lot less than society's willingness to buy, since there's that added benefit of you getting the flu shot, because less people are going to get the flu, right? Society entirely is more willing to buy that good because it's going to benefit society as a whole. So we have quantity of free market, right, where supply equals demand. And then at the quantity of free market, you can see that marginal social costs, right, this red line, marginal social costs would be here, the cost of producing it. But if we actually take into account society's willingness and ability to spend, would be way up here, right? There's much added benefit of the flu shot. So MSB is greater than the MSC at the free market. So we want more to be produced. We want to produce up until a point where MSB equals MSC. So this is going to represent the quantity that is socially optimal. So remember, a negative externality is when MSC is greater than MPC. A positive externality is when MPB is less than MSB, right? Marginal social benefit. So here we go. This would be our deadweight loss. Remember, it's always a triangle pointing towards the socially optimal point, right? The allocatively efficient point. And is that difference between MSB and MSC, right? We want to keep producing until those intersect. So that's the idea of a positive externality. If it's a positive externality, you just draw, demand MSB greater than MPB, identify the deadweight loss. Is the idea, okay? So how can we remove the deadweight loss? We, as in the government. How can the government reduce the deadweight loss? How can they increase society's willingness and ability to spend? So MPB equals MSB. Again, subsidizing, right? Subsidizing the sale of the good, right? For the consumer, right? So when you get your flu shot, right, and the price of the flu shot's $40, the government pays 20 of it, and maybe you pay 20 of it, right? Doing something to increase demand, and Mike is right, it has to be a per unit subsidy, right? Every time you get a flu shot, the government's going to give X amount of dollars. The government isn't just going to be like, all right, we're going to give $2,000 out for flu shots this year. That's not going to incentivize more and more people to get it, right? Each individual user has to receive that subsidy. So MSB will increase, and obviously it will remove the deadweight loss. So we need to do something that would increase consumers' ability to be able to buy it. So MSB equals MPB. Would you have to show per unit subsidy tax on the graph? No. Well, potentially. I'll show you. People, you guys are going to do all the externality FRQs ever asked. So, yeah. Generally, it's this, right? It's either they drew the externality, or you have to draw the externality. That's part A, right? And explain why it's an externality, or draw the externality. B will say identify the deadweight loss, right? So if they give you a graph, there might be numbers on there. We have to actually calculate the deadweight loss. If not, and you're drawing a graph, you're going to have to shade in the deadweight loss. Next part says, at quantity free market, what is greater, MSC or MPB or whatever, right? And generally, the last part of the FRQ says, if the government does this, what will happen to deadweight loss, If the government does this, will deadweight loss increase or decrease? Explain why. That's like always it. So the easiest way to identify that is if the government does this, and in doing so they produce more quantity, that would remove the deadweight loss. If it's a negative externality and the government does something and it lessens quantity, that would lessen the deadweight loss. But sometimes it would be a negative externality. The government will do something which will increase quantity, that would increase the deadweight loss, is the idea. So you guys will see the trend though today on all the FRQs, all the negative externality FRQs that have ever been asked. But here it is summarized, right? Here is the difference. Hopefully it looks a lot more clear. I know I'm covering up a bit of it. A little bit. Move me over there a little bit. Right, so again, negative externality, MSC is greater than MPC. There's the deadweight loss right here, because we want to produce at this quantity where MSC equals MSB, the socially optimal quantity. Sometimes that's also like an agenda item on an externality FRQ, is identify the socially optimal quantity, right? And then, yeah, we're overproducing. We want less, so we need to do something that would reduce quantity to remove the deadweight loss. The best way is to implement a per unit tax. A positive externality, right? We're underproducing. QFM is less than quantity socially optimal. There's the deadweight loss, right? Pointing towards where MSC equals MSB. And again, we do want to, give a per unit subsidy to the consumer to increase demand. All right, we just want less quantity. So yeah, all right. So people will hop over to Google Meet. It's 1:51. We don't have a lot of time, which kind of sucks. But you know what, people? We don't have anything we really have to do tomorrow. Per unit subsidy to consumers, yeah, to increase demand. Now they could also do something that would like increase supply. So supply intersects demand at a greater quantity. That would also cut down on deadweight loss. But the perfect way to do that would be like give, subsidies to the consumer, right? When the consumer pays the price at the end, they lessen the price. They're subsidizing consumers rather than subsidizing the production of the good. They're subsidizing consumers when they buy the good, is the idea. But yeah, you guys are going to see it all. But let's hop into Google Meet. Let me show you guys some of the FRQs a little bit. And then by no means you have to do all of them today. You're going to have plenty of time to do them tomorrow. But I'll see you guys